In water terms, its typical use by an American would be 100 gallons a day. Typical use for the families that we're dealing with in Nepal and Nicaragua and Haiti would be, at best, 2 gallons a day. And that water isn't even clean. The statistics are that 3.4 million people die each year from water-related diseases. In Nepal, more than 1 in 10, or 1 in 10 children die before the age of 5. So if we think of ourselves as problem solvers, then let's take on the biggest challenge. And this is, as for water engineers, what it is. I had the opportunity to travel to the Second International Women in Water Conference. At that conference, one amazing thing that was part of the organization of the conference was that about 75 of the 100 participants were illiterate peasant women. The other interesting thing about the conference was that women had walked 2 and 3 days to get there. And they came to me at this conference and they said, you're the water expert. You know, my children are sick and dying. How do I clean my water? And I looked them in the eye and I said, I don't know the answer to that question. And I thought, oh my God, you know, I've been going to school, you know, for all these years. You know, I have all this sort of fancy education. And yet, this very basic question, you know, how do these women get clean water, is not something that I can answer based on what I know today.
My grandmother, when she was a young girl, when she was your age, got polio from drinking bad water.
So what I said to them was that I don't know the answer as to how to, you know, I don't have the answer, but I have the tools to figure it out. You can go into the market, you know, into Walmart or into your, you know, hardware store and buy water systems for the home, a Brita system or a Pure system in this country, but they're way too expensive for developing country market. The costs of the systems that we're looking at range from essentially no-cost systems to $5 systems to $8 systems to, at the high end, $25 systems. About 85% of the people in Nepal are living in rural areas and living on an income of about $220 U.S. equivalent per year. We've got 2 very promising systems that we're looking at for Nepal. One is called a slow sand filter or a biosand filter.
There's a layer of sand, and as the water is passing through the sand traps, it screens out suspended solids, particles in the water, so it filters out dirt that's in the water. And then when the filter is at rest, you can see there's a 5 centimeter or 2-inch layer of standing water. And in this water lives a microbial community, algae, protozoa, plankton, and they eat up all the bacteria, the harmful pathogenic bacteria in the water, making it safe to drink. So dirty water goes in and clean water potentially comes out.
The second system that we have is a ceramic filter. If we use this as a surrogate for the type of contaminated water that we would see in a developing country, we would see, for example, in Nepal or Nicaragua or Haiti, we'd want to take the water from looking like this to looking like this, and we can do that with a filter like this. This is a filter made of ceramic, and it's got inside a ceramic disc. So the outside is not porous, but this disc inside is porous. And so when you pour this Charles River water in, like this, it's going to filter the water. It'll take a little bit of time. And drip, drip, drip through the filtering element, and it'll be collected here, and then you can decant here. This filter will, at minimum, remove the particles. And if that disc is treated in the right way with a biocide, it will also go a long way toward disinfecting the water as well.
Can you ask her if she only uses the water to drink or if she uses it to wash and to cook with?
What I try to introduce my students to is that we are, we live in a global village. We need to be focusing our engineering expertise not only on our own American needs or first world needs, but we need to look at what I think is the biggest challenge and water problems of the 21st century are the water pollution, and where is that, the biggest problem? It's in the developing world. I have this poster from UNICEF. It says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And there's a picture of a child. And the answer below is alive, exclamation point. That's basically, to tie it back into the Women in Water Conference, what these women were asking for is, how do I take care of my children?